Hello to you. Well, it's Scott Picken, CEO and founder of Wealth Migrate, and I'm bringing you this weekly Wealth Insight. I'm at one of the most magnificent places in the world, and one of the places I enjoy coming to most, which is at the Knysna Heads. I'm a little bit wet because it's a beautiful morning, and I've been sitting on the rock here and thinking about some things, and the waves are crashing over the rocks, and I got splashed. Anyway, I wanted to give you this weekly Wealth Insight, and it's interesting because the Wealth Insights are all about money and wealth and success. But I did something very interesting this year. This week I gave myself a birthday present, and I went on a spiritual retreat for my birthday. And what I find so interesting is that everyone in life always wants to change the world, and they want to go and change others. But what they don't realize is that the number one place to start is with themselves. And so what's really important, today is actually Valentine's Day, and it reminds me back to literally when I was in my early 20s. I was living in London, and people always say, this person completes me or that person completes me, and it's all rah-rah. And there's a great book called The Road Less Traveled, and it's about how you basically, if you're in a great relationship, you are solid and you are completely content and self-fulfilled and make yourself happy, and you don't rely on other people or the environment to make that happen. And then you meet someone else that is in a similar situation, and the best analogy that book gives is it's like a stepladder. You've got two very strong supports, independent of each other, neither one holding each other up, but then the struts between, and then all the open spaces, which still allows each individual to grow individually, but yet you've got the struts between, which is the parts that connect you. And so, for me on this the spiritual journey weekend that I did just this weekend, is that it's really interesting how many people are out there trying to find someone else to try go on a course or something else, or even, get married, to feel completed, to feel whole, to feel happy. And yet it all starts with self. You have to have self-love. I don't know if I'm going to get wet here. You all have to have self-love let me come stand down here so you can see the beautiful waves crashing behind me. You have to have self-love. It starts with self-love. You have to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to take care of yourself before you can worry about doing it for anyone else. In the same way, if you want to change the world, there's no point in trying to change the world unless you change yourself. All success, all wealth, all happiness, all fun, all inspiration even, all leadership starts from within. And so this weekly Wealth Insight for me is something where, arguably you could argue it's a little bit deeper. But the question I ask is, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing internally to work on yourself, to love yourself, to be a better person? I watched an amazing video just yesterday, and I'll remember the guy's name now, I've just forgotten it. The father of the coaching industry. And it was a 50-minute YouTube video, and literally it was all around the number one thing you need to do to get the life that you want is start with yourself. And if you want your life to go to the next level, you've got to go to the next level. And I found it really, really interesting. And I wish I could remember his name. Tony Robbins always credits him as the number one person who trained him. Having a blank moment. And so I thought that on Valentine's Day, when everyone's talking about love all over the world, that this would be a fairly important Wealth Insight. And as I said to you, I did this spiritual retreat for 24 hours, which was really quite interesting and very deep. And I learned a huge amount about myself. And, for me, I'm all about personal development and growing and learning and trying to change the world. But what I've certainly learned in the last 5 years is that the more time I spend working within myself, the more I actually achieve with what I want outward. And it was interesting when I was in India 2 years ago. My father always said to me, do your best, do your best, do your best. And what I realized in India was that it's different. It's be your best. And there's a difference between doing and being, because when you do something, it's a consistent action. When you be, it's inside you. It's who you are. And I don't know why, but it reminds me of this ocean behind us, which is just going to consistently keep flowing and using the laws of nature. And it is what it is. It's going to be here. It's been here for millions of years before me, and it's going to be here for millions of years after me. And we're not that important, quite frankly, in the big picture of everything. And so in the limited time that we have on this planet, you know, if we want to achieve wealth, if we want to achieve success, if we want to achieve happiness, fulfillment, and legacy, then it's really going to come down to ourselves and how much we love ourselves, how much we take care of ourselves, and the belief that we have in ourselves. And yeah, I suppose that's my message for the morning. Now, let me see if I can figure out a way to turn this camera around. I don't think I can. I'm trying to show you these incredible waves that are breaking here on the rocks. And let's see if one will break. Anyway, you can see and then all the way around, you've got to walk over that little bridge and through that cave, and they're breaking over there as well. So it's such a magnificent place to come out in nature and just experience life and really be grateful for everything I've got in my life. If you enjoy this Wealth Insight, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. We want to empower 1 billion people. We can't do it on our own. And, you know, I really need your help. Let's share the knowledge. Let's share the education. Let's share the inspiration so that we can empower people one person at a time. But remember, it all starts with yourself. And on Valentine's Day, make sure that you might be looking after other people. You might be feeling very connected and in love with them. But make sure you're spending some time to love yourself. That's why I've come to the Heads, to spend time in nature and to just be grateful for who I am and everything I've got in my life. Cheers.